Hi friends, welcome back with new amazing video from Top Movies Recap. Today I'm going to recap a 1973 horror and thriller film titled The Exorcist. Spoiler warning, watch out and take care. We visit the Iraqi city of Hatra at the beginning of the film. There was a lot of research to figure out what was going on there. On the wall was a photograph of Father Merrin. Father Merrin, like others, helped with the digging. While digging, they come across an amulet that belongs to demon Pazuzu. Pazuzu was a powerful demon that brought summer heat, drought, and a locust swarm storm on rainy days. These locusts were colossal in size and annihilated all crops by attacking them. And this has negative consequences. There's a scarcity of foodstuffs. People died of starvation, and the most serious consequence was that poverty grew dramatically. Lamashtu, Pazuzu's main adversary, was a formidable foe. Lamashtu was a demon in his own right. Lamashtu's fault is that he causes harm to the mother and her children. He captures children from their moms and bolsters on their blood. That's why individuals look for Pazuzu's offer assistance in protecting Lamashtu's mother and children. Although Pazuzu may be a devil, it is utilized by mankind for security. They rally around him since he spares them from the other devil Lamashtu. At that point, there was a scene with Father Merrin who arrived at a spot where he found Pazuzu's statue. Pazuzu and Lamashtu were battling two mutts, which implied Pazuzu and Lamashtu were battling two evil presences. Taking after that, we see Chris MacNeil in Georgetown, who was playing the on-screen character in filmmaker Burke's film based on an understudy. Chris was the father of Regan, a 12-year-old girl. Chris was a well-known actress in the industry. She had everything: money, celebrity, and all the luxuries of life. The mother and daughters were portrayed together in the next scene. Chris discovers a Ouija board among her daughter's toys and asks her about it. She responds, "I play with this board all the time." She claims that this is a game that cannot be played alone. She responds, "I don't play this game by myself. Captain Howdy joins me." Chris invites her to play with him and tells her that she should teach him how to play. When she tries to play, the board automatically travels away from her. She thinks it's amusing, and she tells her daughter so, saying, "I don't believe you want to play the Ouija board with me." "Captain Howdy, not me," says her daughter, "and he doesn't want you to play." Chris is amused by her and does not take her seriously. Then Chris was pictured dozing off. She is awakened by the phone ringing. Chris notices her daughter having an affair with her. She inquires as to why you are sleeping here. Her kid responds that it was impossible to sleep because my bed was shaking. Chris expels the circumstance and strolls out of the room. Chris listens to sounds from the hang room that she has already listened to. She went to the moment floor but couldn't find anything. Regan is taken to the specialist by Chris. Regan gets into mischief with Doctor when she sees her. She makes defamatory comments about the specialist. Chris's daughter has a nerve problem, according to the doctor. That's why her voice is so resonant. She has a lot of rage now. And as time passes, this develops into depression. Chris informs Doctor that her daughter is not experiencing any difficulties. Regan's father, according to the doctor, does not live with her and has not contacted her. It's possible that this is the source of her anxiety. Father Karras was then shown, whose mother had been committed to a mental institution by her brothers, and this irritates his mom greatly. His mother was an elderly woman with shattered feet who refused to be treated by a doctor, which is why she was admitted here. Father Karras desired to relocate her to a larger hospital, but he couldn't afford it. Then his mother passes away. He gets to be very discouraged. Chris tosses a party at her house, and her girl goes to. She presents a guest to her father, who lives within the best half of the house. Individuals are astounded when they see her urinate while standing there. Chris showers her and powers her to rest in her claimed bed. Regan's bed started to shake when Chris returned. Regan begins to yell. Chris was witnessing everything, but she couldn't comprehend it. That is exactly what is going on. Chris takes her to the doctor once more, and the doctor subjected her to a battery of tests during which she endured excruciating pain. However, she passed all of her tests with flying colors. She is okay, according to the doctor. She is unconcerned. Her discomfort, on the other hand, is getting worse by the day. And suddenly she's being yanked out of bed, shaken in the air, and thrown back. And Regan was screaming and yelling, "Save me or I'll die." Chris, on the other hand, was powerless. Regan is then possessed and loses control of the physicians who have given her a sleeping injection to put her to sleep. When Chris comes back from the doctor, she knows that her executive passed on after falling from the roof. Best and Burke was together with Regan so that she may not be alone. At that point, Regan was falling from the stairs in unbalanced position and blood was coming out of her mouth. Chris gets startled. Doctors and psychiatrists couldn't figure out what was wrong with her now. They performed a number of tests on her and found no evidence of sickness. All of the tests came out as expected. Everyone advises Chris to visit the magician and get Regan treated by him. Following that, we see William approaching Regan for a meeting. Burke's case was handled by who. They inquire about Chris's experience on that particular evening. He also claims that Burke's death was marred by a slew of weird events. He claims that his neck was rotated to the backside when he spoke everything. That was implying that he was assassinated by a demon. When William left, Regan's room was filled with angry voices. When Chris arrives, she is surprised to learn that her daughter has wounded herself, and she has been damaging herself on a regular basis, and she strikes Chris when she is stopped. Then their servants arrive, and the door closes on its own. The sofa cart is self-propelled and completely hides the entryway, and the cabinet in the room begins to move towards Chris, but Chris reacts quickly and rescues herself. It was strange to see her daughter turn her head totally to the rear. That was not a typical occurrence. Regan, speaking in Burke's voice, says, "Look, what your daughter has done to me is inexcusable." When Chris listens, she realizes Burke was killed by the same monster. Regan is also possessed by a demon, and this was the affliction of reality. Regan had been taken over by a demon. When Chris discovers the truth, she meets with her father, Karas, and asks him to exorcise her daughter. Father Karas initially denies, but after her prodding, he accepts. When Regan's father, Karas, approaches her, that demon was ecstatic over her, whereas Regan's demon was irritated by Kara's mother's death. He believes Regan was completely unaware of my mother's death, and he is correct. Then she learns that Chris was correct. However, exorcists from the church need permission, which was a difficulty. For which the church must establish that the case is legitimate and related to locus exorcism. Regan's body had the word hell written all over it. Chris capturing Regan's reaction and informing him of Burke's death. Father Karas is convinced that she is possessed by a demon after learning all of this. Father Karas listens to Regan's audio of him identifying his father Marin. Karas, on the other hand, asks the church for authorization to perform an exorcism. However, the church decides to appoint an experienced father who has previously performed exorcisms with Karas. And it is at this point that the church decides to send both Father Marin and Father Karas. When Father Marin reaches out, he hears Regan yelling angrily. Regan is told by Father Marin that they should begin exorcism immediately. The exorcism then begins. As the exorcism progresses, Regan begins to scream incessantly. Regan, her mother, is severely abused by her. Her bed begins to shake violently and rises into the air in front of them. They do not, however, put an end to exorcisms. They continue to perform exorcisms, and her bed is dismantled. With his powers, that monster moves everything around here. Father Marin had been abused as well. Regan's hands open wide as she soars into the air. Both fathers have authority over her and are working hard to bring her back to normal. And there's a demon shade over there, according to Father Marin. And Father Karas was really sad here since he blamed him for his mother's death. Father Karas then begins the exorcism. He speaks in his mother's voice as he approaches him, and he blames them for his mother's death once more. Father Karas couldn't keep his cool. Father Marin invites him outside. After that, Father Marin begins the exorcism. Karas returns to the room after a bit. Then he's taken aback when he learns that that demon killed his Father Marin. Father Karas becomes enraged and commands the demon to enter his body and leave Regan alone. The demon does the same, leaving Regan's body and entering Karas. Then, in order to undo the demon's devastation, Father Karas sacrifices his life. He leaps from the second-story window. As he collapses, a large crowd gathers around him. Then a friend of Father Karas appears and assists Karas in leaving this realm. Regan reverts to her previous state. She had completely forgotten what happened to her. Regan and her mother depart that region after a few days. We hope you enjoyed our video from today. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel to receive notifications of new and interesting videos.